Ada's hands trembled as she stared at the 3 envelopes on her kitchen table, each bearing a man's handwriting. 3 proposals, 1 week. Her phone buzzed again. Her mother. Ada, Pastor already called. David is a blessing from God. Don't waste this chance. She sank into the chair, heart pounding. David, the safe choice everyone loved. Michael, the passionate one whose words set her soul on fire. And Joseph, the quiet man whose steady eyes always seemed to see straight through her carefully built smile. Tears slipped down her cheeks as she clutched the letters. For years, she had prayed for one godly husband. Now 3 stood before her, and her heart felt torn in ways she never imagined. The weight pressed on her chest until she could barely breathe. Which one was God's will? And what if she chose wrong? She picked up the first letter, heart racing, and slowly opened it. Her eyes widened. Ada's breath caught as she unfolded David's letter. The words were perfect. Too perfect. He wrote about building a godly home, serving in ministry together, and how her parents had already given their blessing. But one line made her stomach twist. I know God told me you're my wife. I've already told the church leadership we'll be engaged by next month. Her hands shook. This was the safe choice. The man everyone praised. Yet her spirit felt heavy, not peaceful. Why did his confidence feel like pressure instead of peace? A soft knock echoed through her apartment. She looked up. Joseph stood at the door, holding a small Bible and looking at her with those calm, seeing eyes. Ada, I didn't come to pressure you. I just wanted to pray with you, if you'll let me. Her heart pounded harder. Joseph's calm eyes met hers through the half-open door, his voice low and steady. I'm not here to ask for anything, Ada, just to pray. If your heart is as heavy as it looks. She stepped aside, letting him in. The moment his hand touched hers in prayer, a strange peace settled over her racing mind. The first real calm she had felt in days. His words were simple, sincere, lifting her burdens straight to God without pressure or promises. For a brief second, her guarded heart began to soften. Then her phone lit up on the table. A new message. Michael, I'm outside your building right now. We need to talk. I can't wait anymore. Joseph glanced at the glowing screen, his jaw tightening just slightly. Ada's peace shattered. Ada's heart slammed against her ribs as she opened the door. Michael stood there, eyes blazing with that familiar fire, flowers in one hand and determination carved across his face. I've prayed about us nonstop, he said, voice urgent. God is saying now, Ada. Stop overthinking. Choose faith over fear. Behind her, Joseph remained silent, but his quiet presence suddenly felt like a lifeline. Her hands grew cold. One man offering passion and certainty, the other offering peace she couldn't explain. Michael's gaze shifted past her and hardened. He's here? Ada froze, caught between them, the air thick with unspoken questions. Ada stood frozen between them, her pulse thundering in her ears. Michael's face darkened with jealousy as he glared at Joseph. So this is why you've been delaying? While I've been praying and fighting for us, he's already in your house? Joseph stayed calm, but his shoulders tensed. Ada's chest tightened, one man pulling with fire, the other steadied like an anchor.
flowers fell from Michael's grip as he stepped closer. I deserve an answer tonight, Ada. Who are you choosing? Her voice cracked, tears burning her eyes. I don't know.
Michael's demand hung heavy in the air. I don't know, he repeated, voice rising. Ada, I've poured out my heart to you. I fasted for us. Joseph took one quiet step back, pain flickering across his face, yet he said nothing. Ada's knees weakened. Her chest burned with guilt, confusion, and fear, caught between Michael's passionate fire and Joseph's calm strength. Tears streamed down her face as she clutched the doorframe for support. Then her phone rang loudly on the table. The screen lit up. Mom plus Pastor Daniel. Ada's hand shook as she answered the call on speaker. Her mother's voice burst through first, sharp and excited. Ada! Pastor Daniel is with me. David just called. He said you're delaying God's plan. Pastor Daniel's deep tone followed, calm but heavy with authority. Sister Ada, the church has been praying. David is a covering, a man of God. You must not let confusion rob you of what the Lord has provided. Michael's eyes lit up with triumph beside her. Joseph looked down, quietly hurt. Ada's throat tightened, tears spilling freely now. The weight of everyone's expectations crushed her chest. Then Pastor asked the question that made her blood run cold. So tell us, child, have you already given your heart to someone else? Her mother jumped in, voice sharp. Speak up, Ada. Don't disgrace this family. Tears rolled down Ada's cheeks as the weight of everyone's expectations crushed her. Her hands trembled so violently she nearly dropped the phone. The safe choice, the passionate choice, the peaceful choice, they were all closing in. She opened her mouth, voice barely a whisper. I think I have. Silence crashed over the room like thunder. Michael's face twisted in betrayal. You what? Joseph's calm eyes filled with quiet shock as he stared at her. On the phone, her mother gasped. Ada, tell us it's David. It has to be David. Pastor Daniel's voice turned stern. Child, speak clearly. Which man has your heart? The church is waiting for your answer. Ada's legs buckled. Tears streamed down her face as the three worlds collided around her. Passion, pressure, and peace, all demanding what she couldn't yet give. She looked from Michael to Joseph, voice breaking.
Ada's grip tightened on the phone, her heart hammering in her chest. The question hung in the air like a trap. I don't know, Pastor, she whispered, voice barely audible. Everything feels so confusing right now. Her mother's voice cut in immediately, sharp with frustration. Ada, stop this. David is ready. He is stable. He fears God. What exactly are you waiting for? The call ended with Pastor Daniel's final words. Pray seriously tonight, my sister. God is not the author of confusion. Ada dropped the phone on her bed and collapsed backward, staring at the ceiling. Her small bedroom felt suffocating. The 3 envelopes still sat on her table like silent judges. She picked up her phone with trembling fingers and typed quickly. To Michael, please give me a little more time. I'm still praying. To Joseph, I need space to hear God clearly. Don't come tonight, please. She hit send, switched off her lamp, and pulled the blanket over her body. Sleep came slowly, but it came. In her dream, she stood at the altar in a flowing white gown. Michael smiled at her with blazing confidence as the pastor pronounced them husband and wife. The church clapped. Her mother cried happy tears. Everything felt perfect. Then the scene shifted. Michael turned to her, but his face slowly changed, and she woke up gasping. It was just a dream. Ada sat up, breathing heavily, sweat on her forehead. The morning light was already creeping into her room. She reached for her phone to check the time. The new message waited. Mom, I asked Joseph last night why his former fiancée left him at the edge of marriage. His answer shocked me. We need to talk, and please, David is here. Ada's eyes widened. Before she could reply, she heard a gentle knock on her door. Ada, it's David. Her heart skipped. She quickly wrapped her robe around herself and opened the door. David stood there, dressed neatly, holding a small box in his hand. His smile was warm but urgent. Ada, I couldn't wait anymore, he said softly. Your mother told me you are still confused, but God has spoken. Don't postpone his will. He opened the small box. A beautiful silver ring glistened inside. I want to confirm God's plan today. He continued, reaching gently for her hand. Let me put this on you as a sign of... Her phone suddenly rang loudly on the bed. The screen flashed. Joseph calling. Ada pulled her hand back. Instinctively, she picked up the call, heart racing. Hello? Joseph's calm voice came through. Ada, I know you asked for time, but... In the background, a woman's soft laugh was clearly audible. Then the woman said playfully, Baby, who are you calling this early? Ada froze, the ring still hovering near her finger. Ada's breath caught in her throat. The woman's playful voice echoed in her ear. Baby, who are you calling this early? Soft, intimate, and far too comfortable. David stood inches away, still holding the silver ring, his hopeful eyes scratching her face. Ada, what's wrong? She quickly lowered the phone, her heart slumping against her ribs. Joseph, the calm one, the one whose prayer brought her peace last night, heard the woman calling him baby. Joseph's voice came through again, now sounding urgent. Ada, please, it's not what you think. Let me explain. But the damage was done. Ada ended the call without another word. Her hand trembled as she stared at David, who was still gently reaching for her finger with the ring. Ada, David said softly, his voice full of conviction. This is God's timing. Don't let the enemy bring confusion now. I've prayed. Your parents have prayed. The church is behind us. She looked at the ring glistening in the morning light. It was beautiful, safe, everything her mother and pastor wanted for her. But her spirit felt heavy again, the same weight she felt when reading his letter. Just then, her phone buzzed with a new message. Michael, I had a dream about us last night. We were getting married. Ada, I'm coming over now. We need to settle this before the devil steals what God has joined. David noticed her expression changed. Who is it? Ada didn't answer. She clutched the phone tighter, torn between the steady man offering her a ring right now, and the two other men whose voices now brought more questions than peace. Tears welled up in her eyes as she whispered, almost to herself, God, which one is truly from you? David took her silence as hesitation and gently tried to slide the ring onto her finger. At that exact moment, a loud knock sounded on her front door. The loud knock on the door made Ada jump. David's hand froze, the cold ring still touching her finger. His eyes pleaded with her, don't answer it. This is our moment, Ada. God is moving. Another knock, louder, more urgent. Ada pulled her hands away gently and walked to the door, her legs feeling weak. She opened it. Michael stood there, breathing fast, eyes burning with passion. Ada, I couldn't stay away. The dream was too clear. We were standing before the altar. He stopped mid-sentence when he saw David inside, still holding the ring box. The air in the small apartment grew thick. 3 hearts, 3 different fires. Ada stood between them, feeling like she was drowning. Michael, please. Her voice cracked. I asked for time. David stepped forward, calm but firm. Brother, Ada needs clarity, not more pressure. Let the Lord speak. Michael's jaw tightened. Or maybe you are the pressure, David. Always hiding behind God told me, while rushing her. Ada's eyes filled with tears. She raised her hands, stopping both of them. Enough, she whispered. Both of you sit down. They sat. The silence was heavy. Ada took a deep breath and spoke words she had never said out loud before. I have been praying for a husband, but I think I have been praying more for peace from confusion than for God's actual will. Everyone keeps saying God said, but my heart has no peace, no deep rest. She looked at David. You are a good man, stable, respected, but your confidence feels like pressure, not peace. I've learned this truth. When God is truly leading, there is peace even when it's hard. She turned to Michael. Your fire excites me, but fire without character is dangerous. Passion must be tested by fruit. I've seen how quickly your emotions change when things don't go your way. Both men stayed silent. Ada wiped her tears. I will not make this decision out of fear of missing it, or pressure from church, or excitement. I've learned the hard way today. A wrong choice, dressed in God's will, can destroy a lifetime. Her phone buzzed again, a message from her mother. Joseph just left our house. He finally told me the full truth about his past. You need to hear it from him yourself. Ada stared at the message, her heart heavier than ever. At that exact moment, another soft knock came from the door. Who is at the door this time? Will Ada have the courage to keep seeking real peace instead of people's opinion? And what truth is Joseph about to reveal? The battle for her future had moved from the men to her own heart. The soft knock echoed again. Ada's heart raced as she walked to the door, leaving Michael and David watching her every move. She opened it slowly. Joseph stood there, looking calm but tired, holding his Bible. His eyes met hers with that same steady gaze that once brought her peace. Ada, I know I should have given you space, he said quietly. But after speaking with your mother, I needed you to hear the truth from me. He stepped inside. Now all 3 men were in her small living room. The tension was thick enough to cut. Ada looked at the three of them. David with his ring still in hand, Michael burning with passion, and Joseph carrying quiet regret. She took a deep breath and spoke from a place deeper than fear. I've been so desperate to hear God said from others that I almost ignore what God is saying to me. Peace is not the same as comfort, and excitement is not the same as direction. She turned to Joseph first. Your past. Why did your former fiancé leave? Joseph didn't flinch. I was angry back then. Very angry. I thought I had control over it, but I didn't. She left because I kept hurting her with my words. When things got hard, I've been working on it with God and accountability. But I understand if that's too heavy for you. Ada felt the weight of his honesty. In her mind, one truth became clear. Some things are red flags, like uncontrolled anger that destroyed peace. The Bible warns about having nothing to do with an angry man for a reason. It's not a small weakness, like poor dressing or not knowing how to cook. Those are things people can grow in together, but character issues that wound the soul, those demand careful wisdom. She looked at David, and you, David, your confidence feels like pressure. Is it God's leading or your own desire to look good before the church? David shifted uncomfortably but stayed silent. Michael stepped forward, voice passionate. Ada, don't overthink. We have fire together. Ada smiled sadly. Fire is beautiful, but fire without self-control can burn down a home. She stepped back from all three, tears in her eyes but strength in her voice. I've learned something important today. A weakness can be improved, like learning to communicate better or managing money wisely. But a red flag is something that repeatedly breaks trust, peace, or godly character. I won't confuse the two anymore. The room fell into heavy silence. Then Ada's phone rang again. Her mother. Before she could answer, Michael suddenly spoke, his tone changing. Ada, there is something I haven't told you either. What is Michael hiding? Will Ada have the courage to choose peace over pressure and passion? And which of these men carries red flag and which only carries weaknesses that can be grown through? Her decision will change everything.